The Brewers season is over, as after a terrible offensive performance in the NLCS against the Dodgers, they were swept out of the playoffs and now are looking towards the future. But don't let that take away from what was an amazing 2025 season, as in the memory of Bob Uecker, the team won a franchise record 97 games and winning their first playoff series since 2018. And for the starting pitchers for the Brewers, after being through a ton of injuries to start the year, saw the emergence of a top-tier ace and a ton of young players that make you excited for the future. And in this video, we're going to go over each of the Brewers starting pitchers and grade how they did in the 2025 season. The grading system is as followed. A is for players that had an all-star or award caliber season. B is for players that had a really good year. C is for players that had an average season. D is for players that had a disappointing season. And F is for players that were negative for the team for the majority of their appearances. So let's get started with the ace of this year's team, Freddie Peralta. Coming off of 2 seasons of good but not great production, we were wondering if Freddie Peralta would ever take that next leap into becoming a true ace pitcher. Well, his 2025 season proved that Freddie Peralta is a top 10 pitcher in all of baseball, as he turned in his best season of his career while making his second career All-Star appearance. Fastball Freddie became more of a well-rounded pitcher, as his off-speed stuff, especially his curveball, were the sharpest they have ever been. There were some issues with Peralta getting deep in the games, as some command issues led to most of his starts being 5 to 6 innings long at max. But his best start of the season was his second one of the year, as he went 8 innings against the Royals, gave just 2 hits, 1 run, and had 8 strikeouts. But Freddie struggled in the postseason, where the long ball really hampered his ability to be effective, as he lost 2 of his 3 starts while giving up 7 earned runs. Overall, for his 2025 season, Peralta appeared in 33 games, starting in all 33 of them, having an NL best 17 wins to 6 losses, with a 2.7 ERA across 176 and 2/3 innings pitched, with 204 strikeouts, which is his 3rd straight year having over 200 strikeouts, a FIP of 3.64, a WHIP of 1.075, an ERA plus of 1.54, and a B-WAR value of 5.5, while also making his second career All-Star team and finished 5th in the NL Cy Young Award voting. Baseball Savant gave him a 97 for pitching run value, an 84 for fastball run value, an 88 for breaking run value, and a 96 for off-speed run value. For his 2025 season, I'm giving Freddie Peralta a grade of A, as he had his best season of his career. The only reason why it isn't an A+ is because of his disappointing playoff run. But sadly, this would be the last year that Freddie Peralta is with the Brewers, as he was just recently traded to the New York Mets for 2 of the Mets' top prospects, Jet Williams and Brandon Sporat. I wish Freddie success in New York, just not against the Brewers, but it's been a great 8 years of having Freddie Peralta as a pitcher on this team, and one of the last remaining members of 2018 has now gone away. Now, this was a very pleasant surprise this year. After injuries decimated the Brewers' rotation early on in the year, the team decided to acquire Priester from the Boston Red Sox in exchange for a promising minor league outfielder in Yofre Rodriguez, a 2025 first-round pick, and a player to be named later. The move was panned at the time, as many people, including myself, thought that the Brewers overplayed for a player who, till that point, had not shown much at the major league level. But the Brewers pitching lab did it again, turning Priester into what was a objectively bad MLB pitcher to one of the best members of this Brewers staff. Priester had the best winning percentage all at MLB, showing some real strides as a pitcher throughout the season. His best start came in late June against the Rockies, as he went 7 shutout innings with 11 strikeouts for what is primarily a ground ball pitcher. His playoffs were very mixed, as he absolutely struggled against the Cubs in Game 3 of the NLDS, where he didn't even get it out of the first inning while allowing 4 earned runs. But against the Dodgers in Game 1, he did better, going 4 innings while not allowing an earned run. For his 2025 season, Priester appeared in 29 games, starting in 24 of them, having a record of 13-3 with an ERA of 3.32 across 157 and a third innings pitched, 132 strikeouts, a FIP of 4.01, a WHIP of 1.239, an ERA plus of 125, and a B-WAR value of 2.9. Baseball Savant gave him a 60 for pitching run value, a 70 for fastball run value, a 68 for breaking run value, and a 26 for off-speed run value. For his 2025 season, I'm giving Priester a grade of A, as he vastly exceeded all expectations that we had for him when the Brewers traded for him. I'm excited to see what he could do after a full offseason with his Brewers staff, as he could be even better than he was in 2025. The Brewers signed Jose Quintana to a one-year deal late in spring training to add some veteran depth to this pitching staff, and he pretty much delivered on that promise. After spending the early part of the season ramping up to game speed, Quintana was a very solid 4th to 5th starter for the Brewers, taking the ball every 5th day and giving you 5 to 6 innings of 3-run ball. His best start of the season was his very first run in early April against the Diamondbacks. He went 7 innings of shutout baseball with only 2 strikeouts. His playoff performance was mixed as he had 3 key shutout innings in Game 3 to NLDS against the Cubs, but in Game 4 against the Dodgers, he went 2 innings but gave up 3 earned runs. For his 2025 season, Quintana appeared in 24 games, starting in all 24 of them, having an 11-7 record with a 3.96 ERA across 131 2/3 innings pitched, with 89 strikeouts, a FIP of 4.81, a WHIP of 1.291, an ERA plus of 105, and a BWAR value of 1.3. Baseball Savant gave him a grade of 36 for pitching run value, an 18 for fastball run value, an 82 for breaking run value, and a 36 for off-speed run value. For his 2025 season, I'm giving Quintana a grade of B-, as he was pretty much what you expected when you signed him to your rotation. He was a solid innings eater that brought stability to the rotation. He is now a free agent, and I would expect him to be signed by a team in 2026, though not the Brewers. Talk about coming out of nowhere to be a solid contributor for the Brewers rotation. Chad Patrick was really good as a mid-rotation starter for the Brewers. He was really good for Milwaukee, routinely going 5 to 6 innings of 2 to 3 run ball, while also having good strikeout stuff as well. He was sent down to AAA in early July, not because of his performance, but because Brandon Woodruff was able to come back off the injured list. He did return to the rotation in mid-August, and he split the time between the bullpen and starting rotation. His best game came in late June against the Rockies, where he went 5 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts. But the playoffs is where Patrick really shined coming out of the bullpen, especially in the NLDS, where he went 4 2/3 scoreless against the Cubs, including 1 2/3 scoreless innings in the critical Game 5 with 3 strikeouts. He wasn't as lights out against the Dodgers, letting up 2 earned runs in 4 1/3 innings pitched. For his 2025 season, Patrick appeared in 27 games, making 24 starts, having a 3-8 record with a 3.53 ERA across 119 2/3 innings pitched, with 127 strikeouts, a FIP of 3.53, a WHIP of 1.279, an ERA plus of 1.17, and a BWAR value of 1.9. Baseball Savant gave him a grade of 70 for pitching run value, a 90 for fastball run value, and a 47 for breaking run value, and a 16 for off-speed run value. For his 2025 season, I'm giving Patrick a grade of B, as he came out of nowhere to be a valuable member of this rotation. And if his postseason performance is any indication of what he could turn into, 2026 can be a huge breakout campaign for him. One of the most hyped up prospects in a long time for the Brewers, the fireball throwing Jacob Misiorowski had one of the greatest debuts in franchise history. After being called up on June 12th, Misiorowski went on a tear in his first 3 starts, having just 2 earned runs in his first 16 innings pitched, while showing off his incredible velocity with a 104 miles per hour fastball and a 96 mile per hour slider. After a rough start against the Mets, Misiorowski had his best start of the season against the Dodgers right before the All-Star break, outdueling the legendary Clayton Kershaw by throwing 6 innings of 1-run ball with 12 strikeouts in the best pitching performance I have ever seen in person. After several players opted out of being in the All-Star game, Misiorowski was named to the NL All-Star team, which caused quite a stir among some fans. I'm looking at you, Philadelphia. But Jacob struggled after the All-Star game, throwing shorter innings and really struggling with his command. He went on the IL in early August, and when he came back in mid-August, his struggle continued as he gave up earned runs in each of his starts, and his average start length was way lower than in the first half of his young career. But what he did in the playoffs coming on the bullpen makes me very excited for this young man's future, as Misiorowski completely dominated in his 3 appearances in the playoffs. Against the Cubs, he went 7 innings out of the pen in 2 games, giving up just 4 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, and most importantly, had no walks. He then got to start in Game 3 to NLDS against the Dodgers, where he had 5 innings, allowing 2 runs, 1 of them being earned, with 9 strikeouts in the Brewers' ill-fated sweeps at the hands of the Dodgers. Overall, for his 2025 season, Misiorowski appeared in 15 games, 14 of them starts, having a 5-3 record with an ERA of 4.36 across 66 innings pitched, with 87 strikeouts, a FIP of 3.62, a WHIP of 1.242, an ERA plus of 95, and a BWAR value of 0.5. Baseball Savant giving a 49 for pitching run value, a 63 for fastball run value, a 29 for breaking run value, and a 73 for off-speed run value. For his 2025 season, I'm giving Mizorowski a grade of B-, as he after a really good start to his career, the rest of his season didn't quite go as planned as he struggled with his command. But this postseason gave us a lot of hope that after seeing a full offseason after being in the majors, that he could reach heights that Brewers have not seen in a long time. The fact that we were able to see Brandon Woodruff pitch at all in the 2025 season is incredible. And he not only pitched for the Brewers at all, he was excellent in his half season with Milwaukee. Coming off a right shoulder injury that knocked him out of the entire 2024 season and most of 2025, Woodruff was incredible. After a brief rehab stint in AAA Nashville, he made his season debut on July 6th against the Marlins, where he went 6 strong innings of run one ball with 8 strikeouts in his first game back in a year and a half. He continued to pitch very well for Milwaukee, transitioning from the fireball thrower he was before the injury to a controlled pitcher with great command of his arsenal. His best performance came on September 6th against the Pirates, where he went 6 scoreless innings where he gave up only 2 hits with 8 strikeouts. But it wouldn't last, as in late September he went on a 15-day IL with a lat strain that knocked him out of the regular season and the playoffs. But the Brewers felt good about his recovery as they offered him a $22 million qualifying offer for 2026, and he accepted, meaning he'll be back with the Brewers for 2026. For his 2025 season, Woodruff appeared in 12 games, starting in all 12 of them, having a 7-2 record with a 3.20 ERA across 64 2/3 innings pitched, with 83 strikeouts, a FIP of 3.17, a WHIP of .912, an ERA plus of 130, and a BWAR value of 1.2. Baseball Savant giving it 81 for pitching run value, an 80 for fastball run value, a 14 for breaking run value, and an off-speed run value of 96. For his 2025 season, I'm giving Woodruff a grade of A+, as getting any value out of him this season is a huge win for Milwaukee. He looks to be healthy for the start of the 2026 season and looks to be a veteran leader for this young pitching staff. It was definitely a rough season for Tyler Alexander, as he was thrusted into a bigger role than the Brewers had planned for him due to a variety of injuries to this staff. He made several starts for the team in the early part of the year and struggled to get through games, allowing several hits, runs, and walks in all of his starts. Alexander was then moved to the bullpen, where he continued to struggle in giving up runs. In his last game with the Brewers, he gave up 5 runs in the game, where the Brewers were leading 17-2 against the Phillies, and was DFA'd the very next day. He was picked up by the White Sox, where he did pitch a bit better, but it was still a rough year. For his time with the Brewers in 2025, Alexander appeared in 21 games, starting 4 of them, having a 3-5 record with a 6.19 ERA across 36 1/3 innings pitched, 30 strikeouts, a FIP of 3.63, a WHIP of 1.486, an ERA plus of 68, and a BWAR value of negative 1.2. Baseball Savant giving a 30 for pitching run value, a 39 for fastball run value, a 33 for breaking run value, and a 56 for off-speed run value. For his 2025 season, I'm giving Alexander a grade of F, as he was just atrocious for the Brewers. It'll be interesting to see if he stays on with the White Sox in 2026. It was an interesting season for the Brewers' current number 5 prospect, as he split his time between AAA Nashville and the majors as a spot starter for the Brewers as injuries impacted the pitching staff. He made his MLB debut on April 20th, where he went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, and had 9 strikeouts as he got his first career victory. Logan then spent some time back in AAA after that start, but was called up again in mid-May and continued to impress, winning his next 2 starts, allowing 3 earned runs and 15 innings of work before being sent back down again. He made one more start in August, where he went just 4 1/3 innings before being pulled. He was then put on the IL with an elbow injury that knocked him out for the rest of the season. For 2025, Henderson appeared in 5 games, starting in all 5 of them, having a record of 3-0, a 1.78 ERA across 25 1/3 innings pitched, with 33 strikeouts, a FIP of 3.02, a WHIP of .987, an ERA plus of 236, and a BWAR value of 1. Baseball Savant gave him an average grade for pitching run value, fastball run value, and off-speed run value, and an above-average grade for breaking run value. For his 2025 season, I'm giving Henderson a grade of A, as he showed a ton of potential for the Brewers down the line, though I am a bit worried about how he will come back from injury. But the young pitcher should be competing for a rotation spot in 2026. Looking to be a solid middle of the rotation starter for the Brewers after being acquired from the Rays in 2024, Savali turned out to not be that effective for Milwaukee in 2025. After making one start in the Brewers' first season series against the Yankees, where he was knocked around for 5 runs in 3 innings, he was then put on the IL with an injury. Savali did not make his return to the Brewers until late May, where he would make 4 decent starts, but he soon requested a trade when it became clear that he would be replaced in rotation by younger arms. The Brewers sent him to the White Sox in exchange for first baseman Andrew Vaughn, which worked out wonderfully for the Brewers. After severely struggling with the White Sox, he was put on waivers and was picked up by the Cubs, where he was a very solid bullpen arm for them in their playoff run. For his 2025 season with the Brewers, Savali appeared in 5 games, starting in all 5 of them, having a 1-2 record with a 4.91 ERA across 22 innings pitched, with 19 strikeouts, a FIP of 5.59, a WHIP of 1.364, an ERA plus of 86, and a BWAR value of 0.1. Baseball Savant gave him a pitching run value of 26, a fastball run value of 17, a breaking run value of 43, and an off-speed run value of 71. For his time with the Brewers, I'm giving him a grade of D, as he wasn't that effective in his limited time with the Brewers, but at least he was traded for a player that had a major impact on this season. After struggling for most of the season with both the Cardinals and the Braves, the Brewers decided to take a fly on the veteran pitcher Eric Fedde down the stretch, and he was actually pretty solid for the Brewers in his limited time with the team out of the bullpen. For the Brewers in 2025, Fedde appeared in 7 games, all 7 of them out of the bullpen, having an 0-1 record with a 3.38 ERA across 16 innings pitched, with 7 strikeouts, a FIP of 5.20, a WHIP of 1.125, an ERA plus of 125, and a BWAR value of 0.1. Baseball Savant overall for the year gave him a pitching run value of 5, a fastball run value of 4, a breaking run value of 28, and an off-speed run value of 14. For his brief time with the Brewers, I'm giving Fedde a grade of B, as he did as well as he could have, given how late in the season he was picked up. It'll be interesting to see where he lands in 2026. Thought to have been the main return piece in the Devin Williams trade to the Yankees that also netted the Brewers' third baseman Caleb Durbin, Cortez barely pitched for Milwaukee, as after getting absolutely obliterated by the Yankees in the second game of the season, Cortez only pitched one other game for the Crew. And in that game, he actually pitched very well against the Reds, winning with 6 scoreless innings, but he would end up being put on the IL for the remainder of his time with the Brewers, as he was traded to the Padres in exchange for outfielder Brandon Lockridge. And he absolutely struggled in his time with San Diego and was left off of their postseason roster. For his 2025 season with the Brewers, Cortez appeared in 2 games, having a record of 1-1 with an ERA of 9 across 8 innings pitched, with 8 strikeouts, a FIP of 11.89, a WHIP of 1.750, an ERA plus of 48, and a BWAR value of -3. For his 2025 season, I'm giving Cortez a grade of F, as though the idea of getting him in the trade looked good on paper, the performance of him left a lot to be desired, as he was eventually traded away for a 4th speedy outfielder. Coming off of a massive injury that knocked him out for the second half of 2024 and most of 2025, Robert Gasser made his major league comeback in late September, and it was pretty clear he needed more time to get back in a rhythm at the major leagues. He appeared in 2 regular season games out of the bullpen and really struggled with his command, as he had 4 walks in just 5 2/3 innings pitched. Surprisingly, he made the Brewers postseason roster and got action in 2 games where he again struggled, giving up 2 home runs against the Cubs. For his 2025 season, Gasser appeared in 2 games, having a record of 0-2 with a 3.18 ERA across 5 2/3 innings with 5 strikeouts, a FIP of 6.84, a WHIP of 1.588, an ERA plus of 139, and a BWAR value of -0.3. Baseball Savant gave him a poor grade for pitching run value and fastball run value, and an average grade for breaking run value and off-speed run value. For his 25 season, I'm giving Gasser a grade of F, as it has been very clear that he was not really ready to pitch in the majors this year. It'll be interesting how he will be in 2026, as the Brewers have a ton of young arms competing for a few spots in the rotation. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back next time when we go over the relief pitchers for the 2025 Milwaukee Brewers.